Hello. We hope you're enjoying your stay at Toshi's place.
To help you make the most of your time in Kamakura, we've prepared this sightseeing guide.
Today, we'll introduce you to Enoshima. It's this wonderful little island just off the coast, and honestly, it sounds completely captivating based on the materials we looked at.
Oh, absolutely. We dove into the notes and an article you provided, and they really paint a vivid picture. Enoshima comes across as this vibrant spot, just packed with, well, everything. Spiritual history, amazing natural scenery, great food, incredible views.
Yeah, even romantic spots, apparently. They call it a paradise by the sea, and also the heartbeat of shonen.
Right. The heartbeat of shonen. That phrase really sticks, doesn't it? It suggests it's a place full of energy and life.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to sort of unpack all of that. We want to pull out the key highlights, maybe some surprising facts from these sources, and really get a handle on why Enoshima is considered such a top destination in the shonen area. What makes it tick?
And one thing the sources mention right up front, which seems crucial, is how easy it is to get to, especially from Tokyo. That accessibility seems like a huge part of its popularity.
Okay, good point. So let's imagine we're starting the trip, just like you would. You arrive at the coast, ready to head over to the island. What's the first thing you encounter?
Well, visually, it's the Benton Bridge. The notes describe it as this really striking, vivid red bridge that connects the mainland to Enoshima itself.
Okay, the Red Bridge.
But what's interesting, according to the material, is that the whole Enoshima experience kind of starts before you even cross it. There are apparently rows of souvenir shops and restaurants lining the approach to the bridge.
Ah, so it pulls you in straight away.
Yeah, it creates this immediate buzz, this sense of arrival and excitement, and you're getting a taste of the atmosphere before you've even set foot on the island proper.
Right, getting that local flavor immediately.
Oh.
Okay, so you cross this vibrant red bridge, and now you're actually on Enoshima. What's the terrain like?
The path heads inland, and as the material describes it, it winds uphill. So you'll be dealing with some steep paths and quite a few stairs if you're aiming for the higher parts of the island.
Sounds like a bit of a workout then.
It definitely can be.
Is there, I don't know, an easier way up for people who might find that tricky?
Yes, actually. And the sources make a point of mentioning this. The Enoshima Escar, it's basically a paid outdoor escalator system.
Oh, really? An escalator?
Yeah, it's highlighted as being really helpful for visitors, maybe with limited stamina, or if you just want to save your energy for exploring up top. It offers a much gentler climb.
That's smart. A modern touch to help
Excellent.
navigate the historic landscape. And speaking of history, as you go up, that's where you really encounter the spiritual heart of the island, isn't it? Enoshima Shrine, dedicated to Benzaiten.
Absolutely, yeah. Enoshima Shrine is central to the island's whole identity. Benzaiten is revered there as the goddess of the sea, which makes perfect sense for an island, obviously. But what's fascinating, based on our sources, is that her influence is much broader. She's also linked to financial fortune, success in the arts, and she's seen as a guardian of music.
Music and arts. That's not what I'd immediately expect for a sea goddess shrine. Does that aspect show up on the island today?
It seems like it does. The material notes that you often find street performances or even dedication concerts happening on Enoshima. It ties directly back to Benzaiten's role as a patron of the arts, adds a really nice cultural vibe to the whole spiritual side of things.
That's lovely, bringing that ancient belief right into the present day. So is Enoshima Shrine just one main building, or?
No, that's a key point the sources clarify. It's actually made up of 3 separate sanctuaries: Hetsumiya, Nakatsumiya, and Okutsumiya. They're kind of spread out as you make your way up the island.
Ah, okay.
And the material suggests that visiting all 3 gives you a much richer, sort of deeper understanding of the island's spiritual history. It's like a journey within the shrine itself.
A spiritual journey across the island. I like that. But the Shinto shrine isn't the only religious site there, is it? I remember reading about something else near the entrance.
That's right. You also have Enoshima Daishi. Now, this is a Shingon Buddhist temple.
Okay, Buddhist, not Shinto.
Exactly. And what's really striking, and the sources point this out, is the contrast. Enoshima Daishi is actually relatively new compared to the ancient shrine complex. It's known for this really dramatic vermilion-colored main hall, and it houses a large statue of Fudo
Wow.
So you get this interesting juxtaposition, this vibrant, newer Buddhist temple right near the entrance, and then the older, more spread out Shinto sanctuaries higher up. It creates this unique spiritual landscape, a blend of Japan's main religions on one small island.
That dual nature really adds to that heartbeat of shonen idea, doesn't it? Old layers, newer layers, all pulsing together. Okay, so you've made the climb, seen the spiritual sights. What about the payoff for all that effort? The views must be pretty good.
Oh, spectacular, apparently. The sources promise these really sweeping panoramic views. You look out across Sagami Bay, and, if the weather's clear, you get that absolutely iconic sight, Mount Fuji, in the distance.
Ah, Mount Fuji. Is there one particular spot that's like the place to go for those views?
Yes, definitely. The Enoshima Sea Candle. It's the island's observation lighthouse, and it really stands out in the sources as the prime spot for those amazing vistas.
Sea Candle. Okay.
Hmm.
And it's located within a garden.
That's right, the Samuel Cocking Garden.
Samuel Cocking. Tell me about that. Who was he?
Well, according to the history we looked at, he was a British merchant who came to Japan back in the late 19th century. The garden itself is built on the grounds where his home and a rather large greenhouse used to be.
Interesting history.
Here.
So what's the garden like now?
Now it's a lovely botanical garden. It has different flowers and plants blooming depending on the season, so it adds this layer of natural beauty right there at the summit.
Nice. So historical grounds turned botanical garden. And from the top of the sea candle, inside this garden, what kind of panorama are we talking about?
The sources detail it pretty well. You can see the entire Shonan coastline stretching out, that majestic shape of Mount Fuji, again, weather permitting, of course, and even the outline of the Miura Peninsula.
Sounds incredible.
But wait, there's more. The sea candle isn't just for daytime views. It's also noted for being beautifully illuminated at night. And in winter, it becomes the main feature of this event called Shonen no Hoseki, which means the jewel of Shonen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the sources highlight this as one of Japan's top 3 illumination events. So imagine those same amazing views, but sparkling with thousands and thousands of lights. It sounds truly magical.
Day and night appeal, then. Natural beauty and dazzling lights. Now, the sources also mentioned a different kind of attraction, something linked to romance, Lover's Hill.
Yes, Enoshima definitely leans into its romantic side. Lover's Hill is the spot for that, and the main feature there is the Bell of Dragon Love.
The Bell of Dragon Love. Okay, that sounds like it needs a story.
And it has one. The sources explain the tradition stems from a local legend about a fearsome sea dragon and a beautiful heavenly maiden who, against the odds, fell in love.
A classic tale.
Exactly. So the tradition now is for couples to visit Lover's Hill, ring this bell together to symbolize their love, and there's more. They attach padlocks, often with their names written on them, to the fences nearby as a kind of promise of eternal love.
Aw, that's quite sweet.
Yeah, it's described as a really popular spot for dates, and of course it doesn't hurt that you also get those lovely scenic views from the hill itself.
A legend, a ritual, and a view. Definitely memorable. Okay, let's move towards the far side of the island now. There's another place mentioned that sounds quite different, maybe a bit mysterious. The Iwaya Caves.
Yes, the Iwaya Caves are something else entirely. These are natural caves carved out over countless centuries by the power of the ocean waves.
Wow, natural erosion.
Exactly. And historically, the sources tell us they were incredibly important. They actually served as a sacred training ground for mountain ascetics. They're called shugenja. These spiritual practitioners would undergo really intense training, both physical and mental, right inside these caves.
So, deep spiritual roots here too, but a different kind altogether from the shrines. Are they still used for that kind of training?
Not really in that historical way, no. Today, the sources say they're open to the public. And interestingly, they're illuminated inside.
Illuminated caves.
Yeah, and this lighting, combined with the natural atmosphere of these sea-carved caverns, is said to create a really ethereal feeling. You can actually walk through parts of them and get a sense of their ancient history and the kind of spiritual practices that went on there.
Ancient illuminated sea caves. That definitely sounds like a must-see for that sense of history, and maybe a little bit of mystique. Okay, after all this, the climbing, the shrines, the views, the romance, the caves, I imagine you might be ready for a break. Does the source material mention anywhere to just relax?
Oh, for sure. The Enoshima Island Spa, which people often just call Inospa, gets highlighted specifically for relaxation and rejuvenation.
Enoshima, got it.
What's it like? Well, the material details its features. It has hot spring baths, various pools, wellness areas, that kind of thing. But a feature they really emphasize is the open-air baths that overlook the Shonan Sea.
Oh, nice. Baths with an ocean view.
Exactly. It's described as the ideal spot to just completely unwind after a day of walking around and exploring. And they also mention it's a fantastic introduction to Japanese spa culture, especially if you haven't experienced it before.
A spa with sea views. Sounds like the perfect way to end a day there. Now, no trip is complete without trying the local food, right? What are the must-eats on Enoshima?
Enoshima is really known for its fresh seafood, naturally, and that definitely shows up in its signature dishes. The sources point specifically to shirasu rice bowls.
Shirasu, what's that?
It's tiny whitebait fish, really small, often served fresh right out of the sea or sometimes lightly boiled, served over a bowl of rice. It's considered a local delicacy.
Okay, shirasu bowls. What else?
And octopus crackers. These are apparently a very popular snack you can buy from vendors around the island. Big, crispy crackers made with octopus.
Octopus crackers. Intriguing.
Yeah. And lots of the restaurants and cafes on the island are also noted for offering great ocean views while you eat. So you get the delicious, fresh food and a scenic treat at the same time.
Shirasu bowls, octopus crackers, and ocean views. Sounds good. Now, there was one more thing. A really unique detail from the sources. Something about a nickname. Cat Island.
Ah, yes, that's right. Nekoshima. The sources explain this comes from the fact that the island is home to a pretty large population of free-roaming cats. They're like community cats, looked after and protected by local groups.
So you just see cats wandering around.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah?
You're quite likely to spot them along the paths leading up the island or just lounging in the parks and sunny spots.
That's kind of charming. But I remember the sources included some important advice about them. For visitors.
Oh, absolutely crucial advice, yes. The material really stresses that visitors need to respect these cats. The guidance is very clear. Do not feed them, do not try to pet or touch them, and definitely do not try to pick them up or take them away.
Right, leave them be.
Exactly. It's vital for maintaining the peaceful situation that lets the cats be a part of the island's unique character. It's all about observing them and appreciating their presence from a respectful distance.
That's a really important point for anyone visiting. Good reminder. Okay, thinking beyond the island itself for a second, did the sources mention the nearby beaches?
They did, briefly. Just nearby on the mainland, you've got a couple of different options. Katase Beach West Shore is described as having shallow water, good for swimming, especially in summer.
Oh, okay, a swimming beach.
And then there's Shikurigahama Beach, which is a bit further along the coast. That one's known for having higher waves, so it attracts more surfers than swimmers.
Interesting, so different vibes right next to each other. Now let's circle back to that accessibility point we started with. How exactly do you get to Enoshima? The sources gave specifics, right? Especially useful if you're staying nearby, say, at Toshi's place.
Yes, they lay out the main ways pretty clearly, mostly using the train system. So if you're coming from somewhere like Fujisawa Station, you can hop on the Enoden line, which is quite a charming little train ride in itself, to Enoshima Station.
Okay, Enoden line to Enoshima Station. Then what?
From there, it's about a 15 to 19-minute walk, give or take, to reach the Benton Bridge and the start of the island.
15 to 19 minutes. Okay. Is there another option?
Yep. The alternative is using the Odakyu line to Katase Enoshima Station. That station is actually a bit closer to the island entrance. From there, it's only about a 10-minute walk to the bridge.
10 minutes. That's quicker.
Yeah. And the main thing, as the sources reiterate, is that the island is connected by that bridge. So once you get to the waterfront, it's all walkable, no need to worry about ferries or anything like that.
That makes it nice and simple. And thinking about you, our listener, staying at Toshi's place in Kamakura, the sources actually had a great suggestion for fitting Enoshima into your plans.
They did indeed. The material basically suggests that Enoshima pairs really well with exploring Kamakura itself. You can easily combine a day trip or part of a day visiting the island with seeing Kamakura's famous spots like the Great Buddha at Haas Temple or Tsurugaoka Hachimangu Shrine.
So you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. It gives you a much fuller experience of the whole Shonan Kamakura region. And having a base like Toshi's place makes that kind of combination really practical. Maybe you could even plan it over 2 days, you know? Balance the adventure on Enoshima with exploring Kamakura and still have time to relax.
That sounds like a perfect plan. You get the unique island vibe of Enoshima and the deep history of Kamakura without feeling rushed. So, wrapping this all up, when you look at everything we've covered, the approach, the shrines, the caves, the legends, those views, the spa, the food, even the cats, wow. Enoshima really does pack an incredible amount into such a small space.
It's quite something, isn't it? The sources really emphasize that the magic of Enoshima is how it manages to blend all these different things together so seamlessly. It offers so many layers: spiritual, historical, natural, modern leisure, cultural touches.
It really does feel like the heartbeat of shonen.
Yeah. So, based on everything we've pulled from the sources, here's something interesting to think about. How does this one, relatively small island, manage to weave together ancient holy sites, stunning natural beauty carved by the sea, modern attractions like that sea candle tower in the Enoshima, specific romantic legends and spots, unique local food, and even a whole community of protected cats?
Hmm.
What is it about Enoshima that allows all these different threads not just to exist side by side, but seemingly to enhance each other, creating such a uniquely captivating place?
That really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? Why places like this feel so special. Well, we've taken quite the deep dive into the source material on Enoshima today, exploring its many facets, from crossing that red bridge to the views from the top and everything in between.
And the sources make it clear Enoshima is incredibly popular precisely because it offers this amazing, unique mix of experiences for everyone who visits.
What did you think?
We hope the rest of your stay at Poshi's place will be filled with wonderful memories.